Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you failed? I mean, really, truly messed up. Maybe it was a project at work, a business idea that crashed and burned, a test you didn't pass, or even a relationship that just didn't work out. I know that feeling, that gut-wrenching, heart-sinking moment when you realize, it's over. I blew it. We've all been there. And in that moment, it feels like hitting a solid brick wall. A dead end. But what if I told you that wall isn't a wall at all? What if it's actually a staircase? Today, we're going to talk about one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can ever make. Learning to see failure not as a dead end, but as a crucial stepping stone on your path to success. I know, it sounds a bit cliché, but stick with me, because understanding this on a deep level can fundamentally change the way you approach your goals, your career, and your life. Think about some of the most successful people in history. J.K. Rowling was rejected by 12 publishers before Harry Potter was finally accepted. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school basketball team. Walt Disney was fired from a newspaper because he lacked imagination. Do you see a pattern here? Their stories aren't defined by their success alone. They're defined by their resilience in the face of what looked like crushing failure. They didn't see the rejection, the cut, or the firing as a stop sign. They saw it as a detour, a lesson, a reason to try harder, to pivot, to learn. So, why is it so hard for us to do the same? A big part of it is fear. We're afraid of what other people will think. We're afraid of looking foolish. We're afraid of confirming our own worst fears about not being good enough. This fear can be paralyzing. It makes us play it safe, stay in our comfort zones, and avoid taking the very risks that are necessary for growth. When we view failure as the ultimate endpoint, every attempt becomes a high-stakes gamble. If we succeed, great. If we fail, it's a disaster that proves our incompetence. That's way too much pressure. The first step to changing this is to detach your self-worth from your outcomes. You are not your failures. A failed project doesn't make you a failed person. A business that doesn't work out doesn't make you a bad entrepreneur. It just means that specific approach, at that specific time, didn't produce the desired result. That's it. It's data. And data is incredibly valuable. When you can look at a failure objectively, like a scientist looking at an experiment, you can start to ask the right questions. What went wrong? What did I learn? What could I have done differently? What part of this was within my control, and what wasn't? This is where the stepping stone concept really comes to life. Every failure provides a unique set of lessons you couldn't have learned any other way. It teaches you what doesn't work, which is just as important as knowing what does. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work when inventing the light bulb." Each failure was a step that eliminated a wrong path, bringing him one step closer to the right one. Your failures do the same for you. They build your resilience, your problem-solving skills, and your knowledge base. Success is a poor teacher. It tells you that you did something right, but it often doesn't tell you why. Failure, on the other hand, forces you to analyze, to deconstruct, and to understand the mechanics of your pursuit on a much deeper level. Let's make this practical. How can you start actively turning your failures into stepping stones? First, allow yourself to feel the disappointment. It's okay to be bummed out. Don't suppress it. Acknowledge the feeling, but don't live there. Give yourself a day, maybe two, to process it. Then, it's time to shift into what I call investigator mode. Get out a notebook or open a document and conduct a postmortem. Write down exactly what happened, without judgment, just the facts. Next, analyze the data. What were the key decisions you made? What were the external factors? What were your assumptions going in, and were they correct? Identify the specific point where things started to go off track. This isn't about blaming yourself, it's about understanding the process. The most important question to ask is, What is the key lesson I can take from this experience? Maybe you learned you need to do more research, or communicate more clearly with your team, or that a certain marketing strategy just isn't effective for your audience. Identify that core lesson. Write it down. This lesson is the stepping stone. It's the valuable gem you've extracted from the rubble. Once you have that lesson, the final step is to apply it. The next time you face a similar situation, you are no longer starting from scratch. You are starting from experience. You're armed with new knowledge that you didn't have before. You're wiser. This is how you build momentum. Each attempt, whether it succeeds or fails, adds to your foundation of knowledge and resilience. You're not just throwing things at a wall to see what sticks. You're strategically building a staircase, one step at a time, towards your goal. Think of it like learning to ride a bike. No one gets it right on the first try. You wobble, you fall, you scrape your knee. Each fall is a sign that you're a failed bike rider. It's feedback. You learn that you lean too far to the left, or you need to pedal faster to maintain balance. Each fall is a necessary step in the process of learning. Eventually, you find the balance, and you're riding. The same principle applies to every single complex skill or ambitious goal in your life. This mindset is a muscle. The more you practice reframing failure, the more natural it becomes. You'll start to see challenges not as threats, but as opportunities to learn and grow. The fear of failure will begin to shrink, replaced by a curiosity to see what you can discover. You'll become more willing to take calculated risks, to be bold, and to step outside your comfort zone, because you know that even if you fall, you're not falling to the bottom, you're just landing on the next step up. So, the next time you're faced with what feels like a dead end, I want you to pause. Take a deep breath, and instead of looking at the wall in front of you, look down. See the step you're standing on. Acknowledge the lesson it taught you. Then, look up, and start building the next one. Because your greatest successes are almost always built on the foundation of your previous failures. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope this gives you a new perspective and encourages you to keep climbing. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more content on mindset and personal growth. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What is a failure that taught you a valuable lesson? Let's share and learn from each other. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.